Hey, ladies, what's happening? Hi, girls. Hold on, I'm getting you all in here. Give me a minute. Hold on, we have Gabrielle. It's gonna take me a couple of minutes to get everybody in. Hold on. Okay, I don't want to start talking because I want everybody to be in first, but I'm just gonna say hi to you all. You're all beautiful. Here comes Delilah.
You're beautiful too, Allison.
Yes.
I thank you. Thank you so much. As you all know, I have a hard life right now. That shit's real.
Yeah.
It's okay, you don't have to look at me so sad. We're gonna talk about that in a minute. I just wanna make sure I get everybody in before we start. Let's see. All right, I really don't know how many people are coming on here tonight. I should have asked Danielle. Let me do that quick. Let me just ask her really quickly. Hold on, ladies, give me a minute. Oh, there's more. How many people are on the call tonight? This is like the part in the video when we do it that is so annoying. You know, we should cut this whole part out. Oh, there we go, somebody else. All right, Danielle's answering me. Hold on, ladies, we're almost there. Okay, 12 RSVP and we're over that. We got 15. All right. Okay. I guess I don't want to start my little speech before everybody. Tammy keeps going like this to me. Hi, Tammy. How are you?
Actually, that time I was saying it to the girl driving because she waved to us, so I waved back to her. But Allison, I'm always waving to you.
Oh, there's more. Hold on. All right. I have a speech, so I don't want to say it until everybody's here. Hold on. Hi, everybody. Let's see. We have wave. Okay. All right. So if I have to say it again, I'll say it again. But basically, let me just move some stuff here. Hold on. Okay. I want to make sure I'm looking at you guys. Does it look like I'm looking at you?
Yeah.
It does? Okay. Okay. Oh, we have Rachel coming in. Where is she? Hi, Rachel.
Oh.
She's in. Okay. All right, everybody. So basically, what I want to start out with today is probably the obvious. I know that probably everybody here is pretty concerned about me. That's what I think. Am I right? Okay. So I just wanted to start off with that. I don't want to be like, an elephant, what do they call it? An elephant in the room, like that we're all just ignoring. So basically, just so you know, I don't ignore my shit. I deal with my shit, okay? And I deal with it hard, So I just want you to know that. But I also take seriously what I'm doing here, all right? It means a lot to me. So basically, a lot of what I just wanted to start out, the first beginning of what we talk about is just get that out of the way. It's not going to get out of the way of my life, but it should be out of the way of your life today and tonight in the meeting. I've been in situations where I was listening or learning from somebody who had a traumatic loss, and I couldn't hear them anymore because I felt so sorry for them. So we can't let that happen, because this is something that's really super important. And to me, the way I look at it, is that when there's a loss, when there's something really, really bad that happens in anybody's life, no matter what it is, or if you're just really having a hard time, this is like really kind of where the rubber meets the road. This is where we make the decision of what we're going to do when things are hard. Like, how do we pivot? How do we make a change, right? So it's like, to me, you can, like, I'm here tonight because my main goal, I'm just going to let you know where I stand. Okay. So where I stand today in my life is that I'll be damned, no matter how big of a loss I have, my gains are always going to outweigh them, no matter what. So that's my commitment to myself and my family. So, and to you guys. So I feel like, you know, I used to say the thing to you guys, like, you know, if you lose $20,000, right? You know, you better make sure that the lesson and what you get out of that loss is greater than the cost of that $20,000. So basically, my commitment to myself, and that's what we've done every single day, is we count our gains. What do we get from this circumstance? And it builds, you know, I know, because I've had this happen to me before, unfortunately. So I know that the gains are so amazing if you just you just toe the line, you just keep going. And it's no coincidence that this is like all about emotion, right? So this is the thing. I need a commitment from you that you're not going to be looking at me like, oh, and like, you know, oh wait, there's someone else coming in. Shit, I just said all of this. Now it's going to be the elephant in the room with her. Damn it. Okay. Ellen, we got to start over. For God's sakes, you're late. It was a very emotional beginning.
Sorry.
All right. Well, I'm actually not kidding. Ellen, where are you? Listen, Ellen, we started this that no one's allowed to look at me and feel sorry for me. Okay? You got to promise.
Okay, I don't know what happened.
Oh,
so-
good. That just clears the deck. So we can just keep that shit going. All right. So forget about it. But basically, what I'm saying is, no matter how hard things are in somebody's life, we have to make sure that the gain is greater than the loss. Does that make sense? So basically, it's more people coming in. Okay. So what we're gonna, and I'm being very, very real with you all. I believe that when the times are good, I'm gonna make them as good as I can. And when and I'm gonna grieve well. And that's what I'm doing. I grieve well, like hard, and you know, I go through it. So, you know, and I believe when I'm happy, and I really am happy, you know, and then I'm not, right? So that's where I am in my life today. And but that's part of being alive and and figuring how to manage our thoughts, our feelings, our experiences, outside events, inside events. And it's interesting because we're doing this topic. I wasn't going to do relationships. That would really suck. So we're not going to do that. Maybe we'll see when we do that, maybe next month. But so now, I just want to see is everybody here? Like, because I don't see everybody. I wonder if, hold on a minute. Okay. Michelle said she's had to turn off her camera, but you're here. Okay. She has to turn off her camera in about 10 minutes because she's driving. And Evelyn is also driving. Oh, and she can't hear. Okay. Evelyn, can you hear me? Okay. So ladies, what we're going to talk, does anybody, did I make myself clear about, you'll see also, because I'm going to relate our topic to also, you know, what's happening. It's very important that you guys, you know, you can pray for me. You can understand that I am, you know, I mean, I'm going through something obviously major in my life, but it doesn't mean that my mission ends. Do you understand? It doesn't end. So, because think about it, if a loss then accumulates more loss, how does that make sense? We take the bitch, the loss, and we make it better than what it was. Does that make sense? We add value no matter what. And I'm not talking about being repressed or pretending not to feel like shit. Okay, does that make sense? Okay, so now what our topic this month is, it's about emotion, like your emotional well-being. And it is the most powerful topic. It will be the most transformative experience that you have if you can understand your emotional well-being and how to manage it. So what we're going to be doing this whole month is it's going to be broken down into different emotions, but the overall concept is being able to first know the emotion. You identify it. So we're created to be in a state of well-being and love. That's what we're made for. Optimism, goodness, beauty, majesty. If you look around at, I'm looking at the clouds. There's just beauty if you're willing to see it, right? So the thing is that we're made for that. If you think about, if you allow yourself to see beauty and feel it, then you breathe and something happens to you and it resonates with you and your body, right? Do you ever do that? You ever notice that if you see beauty and you allow yourself to experience it, what happens? So what I want you guys to think about is what we're gonna look at. First of all, you want to maintain a state of being first. The other thing is you want to be able to identify, because everything starts with the truth. Truth is the beginning of every change. It is the pathway to all growth. Does that make sense? Nothing changes until it becomes what it is. So in order to make changes, in order to create your life, do you remember why we're here? Do you guys remember what the mission is? I might have forgotten. It's been a busy week, but seriously, what is the mission? The mission is Mission Awake. The mission is to be able to be awake and aware in the now without judgment, in order to create the life you're meant to have, as opposed to living a life that's been handed down to you in reaction to others, in reaction to circumstances, in reaction to people, places, and things. How freaking amazing is, let's see, am I allowed to say God in the room? Is God Almighty that I'm here tonight with the most insurmountable outside circumstance, and we're gonna slay that bitch. I'm sorry, because honestly, you can. So that, and I'm not talking about being fake, because if you knew me in my house, I'm like the farthest thing from fake. So it's real. This is a real thing. So basically, here you go. Think about it this way. What we're doing is, our mission is, we are creating the lives that we actually want. Emotion is typically in reaction to outside things. Would you agree that that's what it is? So what you want to be able to do is have outside things happen around you. The emotion happens, whatever the emotion is. And then before you do a damn thing, you use it to point to yourself. So you go inward and you say, what is it that's happening? Like, what is it about this that's hurting me, that's frightening me, that's whatever, right? Because even in very, very serious situations, you can still look inward and go, what is it about what I'm thinking about, this particular thing in this moment that's creating this emotion, right? And I really believe we're made for two things. Not made for, that's not true. We're made for love. But I think we were going to take two streams of emotion. I would want to say that there's either fear or love. You're just going to boil it down, right? So all of the negative emotions, all of the things that feel really bad are usually based in some form of fear, right? Even like hurt, you know, it's fear. If you really looked at it, right? And all of the emotions that bring, you know, like a heightened state of being are love, right? And so what we want to do is we're going to be shifting. And usually when it comes to fear, it has to do with external things, right? So the first thing we do is we want to know that we want our state of being to be a state of being of love, of we've been taught since we're I don't know, forever in our society. We're a mistake averse society. We're a society that we've been taught as women to be afraid. We have been taught by society that it's, if you're a good mom, you worry. You know, if a mom doesn't worry, she's not a good mom, right? If you you know, it's very, very natural for people to just be stressed. Stress is fear, right? Rushing around is fear, right? But we are super accustomed, and we've been like marinated in this type of a lifestyle, right? So if we were going to live a life that didn't have that, does that even, I mean, probably everyone in the room would be like, oh, that doesn't even seem like it's possible, but it is actually. Because now if you decide that you're going to take control of your emotional state, like I'm not talking about holding it in and being repressed. I'm talking about being in charge of it, that you're the master of your inner world. You're the master of the meaning that you attach to things. You're the master of the stories that you tell yourself about different things in your life. Because then you're going to take back your life and you're going to create the life that you want, right? So circumstances can come and they can, you know, I mean, they can blow up your life, right? However, they can blow up your life, but you can then immediately pivot and say, I'm going to create a life. I'm going to create a life that I love. So if you're committed to that kind of idea, that I'm going to create a life that I love, is everybody in this room committed to creating a life that they love? I mean, do you think it's possible? Thank you so much for your honesty, Josie.
I don't lie.
Listen, the thing is, we're taught not to think that that's possible. We're taught to think that our life is dependent on outside events, because outside events happen. Outside, all sorts of things happen, right? However, if your baseline, if your foundational principle was, I'm going to have a good life and I'm going to have a happy life. And how come you're going to have it? Because I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to make it happen. Sounds so foreign, right? I'm going to make it happen, because we believe that our life happens to us, right? We're like co-creators. We get to decide how we think, how we feel, the stories we write, the meaning we attach. So let me go back to emotion. So the first week, we're going to talk about, somebody just came in. We're going to talk about, the first week, we're going to be talking about fear. Hi, Lisa. We're going to be talking about fear. You're not allowed to feel sorry for me. You missed the whole beginning. You'll watch it when we're done. Okay. So, so the first week, we're going to talk about fear. Underneath fear is a lot of categories, right? Worry, concern, stress, busyness. Fear is masked and disguised in irritability, right? In like when somebody is passive aggressive, sarcasm, you know, there's all these different little things that mark that are fear. So what this very first week, what we're going to do is we're going to be looking at, because if you think, okay, I'm just looking for when my emotion is fear throughout your week, if you're just looking for that and you don't recognize the other little aspects of fear, like irritability, like I said, anger, because anger is fear's bodyguard, right? So you want to know when you're feeling fear and really, really identify in all those other streams. I wrote a list and I got to find it. I'm not sure where it is. I don't have it here. But basically, worry, anger, irritability, stress, rushing around. I told you guys all of that. So I want you to think about those kinds of things and be able to identify them. We're going to also have a week of guilt. You're not going to be feeling guilt, but you're going to be identifying guilt. Guilt comes in the form of people pleasing, right? Guilt comes in the form of having this sense that you're in trouble, that you have to watch what you do, right? A feeling that you're going to be found out somehow. Another emotion we're going to do is anger and resentment. And we're going to do shame, because I think it's a really good topic to do. So we're going to do that through the week. The first week is going to be fear. And so remember, worry is fear. Yes? Okay. You guys have probably heard me say, you probably heard me say, talk about emotional sobriety. Anybody who's been in like any of my groups or whatever, I talk about it all the time. So basically emotional sobriety is, I'm going to tell you the way it works. What it is that there's an emotional drunkenness and then there's emotional sobriety. And emotional drunkenness is the typical way that people manage their emotions. You see it everywhere. It's just common. It's a common way of being. We're not going to be common. Do you understand? I got to tell you something. This is very, very important. Is everybody paying attention? Ladies? Okay. This is very important. I'm going to tell you something. Don't expect to look like everybody else looks. And don't expect to act like everybody else acts. Because you're doing well when you're not doing that. Seriously. You want to be shocking. And it doesn't matter what people think. I'm talking about you want to be shocking to other people. Because you are not in any way like the crowds, the norms. I'm going to tell you something. You don't want to be doing that. You don't want to be anything like that. Do you understand what this is real. This is real. The norm is not to manage emotion well. The norm in the media is not to manage emotion well, or thoughts, or feelings, or relationships, or anything well. That is not the norm. You understand? The norm is fear. If you live a life of love and stability internally, there's not much that can shake you. Do you understand? When you're committed to yourself and you have a relationship with yourself, other people affect you, but they don't really have much power. Because self-love is the most powerful force on earth. It makes you love everybody else, and it makes circumstances and different things not as big. Make sense at all? Okay, I forgot what I was saying about, emotional sobriety. I swear I'm going to stay on track. So basically, emotional drunkenness is this. There's an event out here. It doesn't matter what it is. Somebody looks at you the wrong way. Somebody cuts you off. I don't know. Your husband is snotty. I don't know, whatever. Or something bad, really bad happens. This event out here gives you an opportunity to feel something, right? You feel a feeling. Then the drunken emotional state is when I feel the feeling and I immediately go outward. So what that is I react, right? So reacting means I go outside of myself And either I go toward a person, place, or thing, judgment, blame, complaining, yelling, being dramatic. I don't know. There's a million reactions we could have. Another reaction could be that you just completely shut down, but you may not be saying anything outwardly, but you're still having a reaction to the outer event, right? So that usually is the way it goes. An event happens, you have a feeling, then you have a reaction. You go outside of yourself. Then usually what people do is they project into the future. Well, I'm never going to get hurt again, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to blah, 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 blah. And they start projecting forward about how they're going to handle this thing. I'm never going to let them do that to me again. I'm never going to talk to them, whatever it is. I don't know. So then we have emotional sobriety. Emotional sobriety is an event happens outside of ourselves. We immediately stop. We breathe. We go in. We never go out. Ever. Ever. You understand? Ever. Because we do not manage inside stuff by tinkering outside. How does that make any sense? I'm going to fix this quickly while I'm feeling this in here, but I'm going to make this stop. So this way I'm going to feel better in here. That means we have to always be tinkering outside here to make this feel better. So our insides are dependent on our outsides every freaking day. Do you understand that? It doesn't work. The whole world is living that way. Would you say the majority of people you know live that way? I'm going to change you. I'm going to change that. I'm going to fix that. I'm going to do that so I don't have to feel this. We don't even go in and find out what this is. Right? So emotional sobriety is you go in and you find out what this is. This thing happened outside of me. Now, what is it pointing to inside of me? What did that give me an opportunity to feel inside of here that I need to know about so I can know myself better, right? So, that frightened me because I felt I feel really, really nervous in the middle of a conflict because I feel like somehow they're going to think that I feel like I'm in trouble. And I feel like I'm in trouble because I always feel like I'm in trouble because I live in a state of guilt. And how come I live in a state of guilt? I live in a state of guilt because I always felt like I wasn't pleasing my mother, blah, whatever. And you find out what the real thing is. Because quite honestly, this outside thing doesn't matter much. Once you figure this out, right, then you can do whatever you need to do with clarity to straighten out any external things you have going on. Does this make sense? Okay, so now what this means is that now you're taking charge of your insides and you're spending time with you. You're giving yourself enough love and attention that maybe you didn't get when you had emotions when you were little. So now you're going back and you're actually parenting and you're asking the important questions of yourself so that you can then resolve internal things without having to be dependent on other people to do that, right? So then, right, very often you don't have to do a lot out there, and whatever you have to do out there is not that complicated because you're not reacting. So now, then you're in a state of creating your life, because now from the more you understand yourself and feel what's really being triggered, the more you are able to create something different in your life. Does that make sense? We are, when it comes this entire month, what we're doing is we are not reacting, we are creating. Everything we do every single day, no matter what, morning, noon, and night, every breath we take, I am in a state of creation. Do you understand that? Because we think about things. We think about things all the time. And when we think about things, we have all this meaning we're putting on things. So you can have really, really bad things happen, and you can attach meaning to those bad things that is life-giving, as opposed to meaning that is destructive. Because you get to decide how you interpret everything in your life. And you get to decide the life you want to live. Make sense? Okay. I want to read you something here. I just find it interesting. There's a study, it's done at the Institute of Heart Math, an internationally recognized nonprofit research organization that helps people reduce stress. And the experiment is titled Local and Non-Local Effects. It doesn't matter much. I'm just telling you what it is, of coherent heart frequencies on conformational changes of DNA. So basically, what they found in this study, that it showed that thinking and feeling anger, fear, frustration caused DNA to change its shape according to these thoughts and feelings. The DNA responded by tightening up and becoming shorter, switching off many of the DNA codes, which reduced quality expression. So we feel shut down by negative emotions, and our body feels this too. But so the negative shutdown or poor quality of the DNA codes was reversed in this study by the people feeling feelings of love, joy, appreciation, and gratitude. The researchers also found that HIV positive patients who had positive thoughts and feelings had 300,000 times more resistance to the disease than those without positive feelings. So we are meant to operate, our bodies are designed to operate in the design of joy and love. And when we are not operating in those emotional states, our body is not coherent. Our body is not, we are not aligned with ourself. Does that make sense? Okay, so let me just see what time it is. All right. What I want to do is, just give me a sec. I want to see if I'm forgetting anything. Oh yeah, this is another thing I wanted to tell you guys. I'm going to kind of segue a little bit into our first week because I'm behind a little bit, and I wanted to tell you guys that I'm really going to, I'm going to deliver a lot this month because you had to wait a week. So I'm gonna make sure you get back what you didn't get. So in terms of, I want you to think about this first week. What you're going to be doing is you're going to be noticing the stories that you create in your mind every single day. So we're talking about fear this week, this upcoming week. So you're going to be looking at, okay, it's Monday. Wait, what day is today? Today's Monday. So we're a little behind. So what you're going to do is tomorrow you're going to go, it's Tuesday. So what I'm going to do Tuesday is I'm going to notice the entire day. I'm going to notice what concerns, what worries, what fears, what stressors, what is coming up for me today. So you identify it. That's the first thing. The next, you want to know what that is that day, because nothing changes. We always want to start with the truth. Remember, what is it that's true for me today? Now, the next thing is we're going to, then you know what it is. Now you want to know, what stories am I writing? This may be a revisited concern or worry. It may be something that you have regularly. It may just be for that one day. But you want to look at, you want to be very, very aware. Remember, awake. People have a concern and they are processing and like creating in their mind an entire story, a whole imagination about the thing that they're concerned about. and they're literally painting a picture into their future that is literally impacting their future. This is true. So because the power of thought is so immense that I'm gonna have to explain it to you in a minute, but thought moves faster than the speed of light. Everything else that we are doing on this earth, in this 3D earth that we're living on, basically everything in terms of what we are, the data that we're taking in, everything is slowed down. Do you understand that? The information that we take in does not move, it moves slower than the speed of light. So we are missing immense amounts of information and perception. If you saw the bombardment of information that we do not see, that we don't taste, we don't feel, we don't smell, none of it, we don't feel any of it or know any of it with our senses, it is there, it is present, and it's powerful. And we want to be badass, can I say badass bitches? We want to be badass bitches that are aware of that. Do we want to live a life that's dull and automated and not know the actual truth? That most of what is around us is not seen. It's just facts. I mean, science backs it up, quantum physics backs it up. It's just a fact. So, and for some reason, the whole world isn't shouting this. I'm not really sure why, because we're so addicted to matter. We're so addicted to the physical. We're so afraid of the unseen that we don't talk about it, but it's real. So the thing about our thoughts is that when you write a story into the future, this is what people are doing when they're emotionally drunk. An event, a worry, now I'm gonna, what if? Well, what if what if the chandelier falls on my head? What if, you know, whatever, my dog gets hit by a car? I don't know, I shouldn't have said that. I love my dogs. But anyhow, so like, what if blah, blah, blah. But if we really, really knew the power that we've been given as co-creators, who's in the room, can I say, with God, if we really, really knew that, we would be so careful what we thought. We would be so careful. So now, the thing about what we're doing here is that we are not doing this for fun. We're doing this for real life change, yes? Okay, so what you're doing is, for the week, you're going to first identify the worry or concern. Then what you're going to do after that is you're going to notice the stories, the imaginations that you're attaching and projecting into your future. Then you're going to pivot, and you're going to pivot all week. You're going to shift. You're going to create. You're going to create new stories. You understand that? So whatever you're worried about, you are literally going to create a story that is based in safety, love, stability, happiness, well-being. Now, do you understand, everybody in this room, you probably feel that that is foreign to you. It's so easy to write a story that's scary. And you could tell any friend, you could talk about it anywhere. And people would be like, yeah, I know, I'm afraid of that too. I got you, right? There is nobody who would not think that that's normal, correct? If you then instead told a story like, oh my God, I know this is going to be like the best experience ever. And like, I know that like money's going to come in the mail, and I know that this is going to happen, whatever. I mean, I didn't mean to sound like that, but like anything, like just make up a beautiful, incredible story. Can you hear what you all think or feel? What happens? Right? So we are not accustomed to that way of being. Remember, do you want to be like everybody else? If you do what everybody else is doing, you're going to get what everybody else is getting. Right? So, I mean, You better, people are like, "Oh, is that normal?" I'm like, you better hope not. Holy shit. Everybody asks me all day, I like, forget it. As a therapist, is that normal? I'm like, you want it to be? No, for God's sakes, right? I mean, damn. Oh, wait, you guys went so far away? Okay. All right. So listen, what we're going to do now is I want to open it up for you guys to talk and ask whatever, ask questions, share anything you want to share. Anybody, actually, let me see. Let's do this. What do I got? Sometimes I can't tell how many people are in the room. Let me just give me a minute. Let me get oriented here. All right, because I don't think I can see all of you guys. I think I don't see you all on the screen at the same time. I don't. Okay, so who would like to ask a question or say something? Do you understand what we're doing this month? Okay. Anybody want to say anything or ask anything? Lisa Morelli. Unmute. Unmute yourself, hon.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. Can you give a clear, like a specific example? You know how you, in terms of switching it around. So if you could, I think if I hear something concrete, then it will help me.
Yes. So why don't you tell me something concrete?
Oh, in terms of a fear or a worry and then switching it around, is that what you mean? Or
Well, you were the one asking me. So were
Yeah.
you thinking about the worry part, or were you thinking about any kind of pivoting, like an emotion? Like which were you asking me?
I want to, not so much the worry, I'm very good at that, but in terms of
We don't
pivoting,
want you to be good at that.
I know.
Okay, so give us an example of something you're worried about.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, so I'm going for job interviews, and the fear is that I won't get the job, you know, that I'm looking for, and I would need to stay where I am. So that's
Okay.
the fear.
So you're worried, you're looking for a job, and you're worried that you won't get the job that you're looking for,
Mhm.
right? So now so that's your concern, right? So that's identified. So then you want to look at, as you're going through your day or whatever it is, what stories are you writing about this concern? I heard one, you said, I'm going to have to stay where I am, right? So what other stories do you say? So what if, like the stories usually begin like, what if I don't get the job? Then,
Right, okay. Then I'm staying at my job, which I love, but it's stressful. So, but although, okay, so just yesterday I started thinking, well, if I stay here, what can I do to make it less stressful? And I started talking about reducing the number of students I see for speech. And I spoke to my speech therapist today that I work with to see if she could pick up some students so that I could have more balance. And I'm not
Yeah.
writing reports at 1:30 in the morning, you know.
yes, but think about it this way. So you want to look at what is the baseline. So basically, if your heart is like, if your base is that no matter what, you've decided that you're going to have a good life. You're going to create something good out of what you're doing. So instead of, what if this happens to me? What if this doesn't work out? It doesn't matter what it is. It doesn't work out. It does work out. No matter what, whatever it is, I'm making something good out of it. So what you did was you said, how can I make this great? But I mean, I wouldn't want you to say, how can I make this not stressful? I would want you to say, how can I make this great? How can I make this something I love? You see what I mean?
Mhm.
So it's like, so writing the story. So if you're saying, oh, what if I don't get the job? I heard you say, then I'll have to stay. I mean, when I hear that, I hear a fixed perspective, as opposed to, wow, I didn't get that job. What else could be out there for me? Wow, there may be something better. What am I not missing? What would I have missed if I took that job? You know, it's like when I hear you saying it, I'm hearing you say either this or this. Either if I don't get the job, I stay here. How come there's only two choices? Because your mind is only giving you two choices. So an imagination, a creating of a life is, wow, what would I want to do with my time if I could do anything? How would I want to spend my work? Wow, I have time to create something in my thoughts. And because my thoughts move faster than the speed of light, they're going to be out in my future before I better be careful what I put out there, because you understand? And then you become it and you feel it and you create it, and then it shows up because you become a person who is a receptacle of what you've created, because now you match it. If you think I can only have this or this, you know, I mean, I'm only going to get, you know, I got a rock, so you're going to get a rock because I'm a person who gets one. But no, I'm a person who creates a life that I love more than anything on earth. And that's the person I am. And when I am that person, then that's all I see.
Sounds good.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, you did. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
That was so formal.
Here, let me unmute me.
Okay. Other questions? I wish I had my thing, my podcast thing, the crickets or Bueller. Who is not asking because they feel uncomfortable asking? Raise your hand. Who's not asking because they feel sorry for me? Serious, I'm serious. I got to tell you one thing that's really cool. My son said to me, he said, you know, Mom, during the moments, this was like, you know, in the very beginning, during the moments when we feel good, I think we should maximize that. Should really feel good when we feel good, because the bad's going to roll in. So we should just really enjoy the good. So we've been doing that. So I'm in a really good mood right now. Just letting you know. Okay. So yes, Josie, unmute.
I have anxiety, and I'm having a little bit of an anxiety attack right now that I'm trying to
Okay.
fend off. But if I'm being honest, I have a fear that something's going to happen to somebody in my family all the time.
Yeah.
So this makes that fear very real.
Yeah. I understand that.
And so it's not feeling sorry as much as it is. I mean, I do feel that, but like, look how messed up life can be. And I worry about this all the time. And here's a perfect world example of somebody it happened to. And then I start going, a good person who's out there helping people, you know, it's not fair. And then I start trying to make sense out of it. And then the roller coaster of emotions that I'm on right now.
I really understand that, because well, a long time ago, I had a pastor who's a good friend, and I had children very young. I had one child at that time, and his son died. And I had a son, and we were, you know, and they were similar ages. And it messed me up, because I was like, oh my God, that could happen to me. You know what I mean? So I really, really understand that. And I'm glad you brought it up, because I wasn't making that same connection, but that makes a lot of sense to me, especially if you have a fear of like tragedy or something like that. A long time ago, I had that type of thing, like a fear of tragedy, you know? And I think that I wish I could hear the exact words you said again, because there's so many points in your wording that really stood out to me. And I think that living in a state, like, saying, oh, you're a good person, you help other people, it's interesting because, and you use the words that it happened to me, right? There are things in life that happen around us all the time, and I don't see it as happening to me. I mean, it sounds, I'm really just going to be honest with you. I've been very trained to believe that things are happening for me. So I mean, I hate to tell you this, but I really do believe that. Like from the bottom, I mean, I really believe it. I believe that things happen for us. And the thing really to think about is, like, prior to this, you've been afraid that something would happen, right? Was that something that you struggled with, right?
Yes, yes.
In most, the thing about fear of tragedy is that fear of tragedy, it's pretty rare. I mean, but you see how you make that face, because your perspective, if you look at all the people, right? Things happen to people, but typically all the people we know do not have these major tragedies, and like we think about all the people who, oh my God, this horrific accident. But do we think about the millions of people who got home from work safely tonight? No, we don't. And fear sells. I don't know if you know that, but we are conditioned toward fear, Josie. The media takes a snapshot and sensationalize it because it sells.
I have a journalism degree, so I know all about that.
Yeah. So listen, yeah, go ahead.
I have had a lot of tragedy in my family, though.
Yeah.
I had horrible things. And so some of those things I think affect who I am and where I am today. And, I don't even know how to say this. I'm sure there's a lesson here, maybe for all of us even to be going through this with you, but this is hurting me. I don't know what to do. And it's making me feel things.
Yeah. Do you think that feeling things is a bad thing?
I mean, I'd like to say that I want to be in a place where you are, where I can say things aren't happening to me. I'm making a life for myself, but I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm still in a place of judgment and I do everything wrong. And what's wrong with me? This is, I mean, I feel silly for the reaction I'm having right now. And I know what you're going to say, but that's what I'm feeling. I shouldn't be feeling that way, that this is a true reaction.
Wait a minute. Wait, you're deciding what I'm going to say. I didn't even know what I was going to say. I was actually listening to you. I actually wasn't even thinking about what I was going to say, but you were. What was I going to say? I'm just curious. I have no idea what I was going to say, actually.
Okay, very fair point.
I really honestly didn't. I was really honestly just listening to you.
I really thought that you were going to say that no feeling that you have is a wrong feeling.
I wasn't going to say that. I'm just being honest. I didn't even think of that. But I mean, yeah. So listen, the truth is, listen, when you're saying, oh, I'm not there, it doesn't matter. Like the fact that you're going through this right now, and the fact that you've had tragedy in your life, anything that we have in our life at any point, and it could be this moment or next moment, that this moment, this now, I'm going to find every damn stinking good thing in this thing and what it's doing and creating in me. And then the next moment, I'm going to try and do it again. And the next moment, I'm going to do it again. Because if you tell me, first of all, and it's also a decision. it's a Josie, it's actually a decision. It's, who the hell wants something bad to happen? But when it does, if you don't, you want to have a foundational decision inside of you that no matter what, I'm going to find beauty. I'm going to find goodness, because you know what? It's always to be found. But if we don't believe that, because I know you can find it, I know you can. And I'm going to tell you something right now. When you say, oh, you're helping people, that's one of the reasons that this shit happens. So to be honest with you, it affects me more.
I just don't know how
More
you
able
can
to
be.
help people. What?
I don't know how you can be so strong.
Not strength. It's just life. Listen, so the thing is, what is it in this moment? And I'm being completely authentic with you guys. This is exactly how I feel right now. I do not feel sorrow right now. When I feel sorrow, I feel sorrow. I decide how I'm going to feel. When a thought comes to me, I ask myself the question, is this a valid thought about this circumstance? Most of the time, when I'm feeling like shit, it's not. I'm going to be real with you. I mean, I hate sounding so, it sounds simple, but it's true. Like usually when we feel really, really badly about something, right? It's like, okay, well, what am I actually thinking about? It could be, and this particular feeling or thought I didn't have, so I can share it, because if it was one of the ones that is hard for me, I probably wouldn't share it. But like, oh, I'm going to be alone the rest of my life, right? Oh, yeah. I'm not really afraid of that, because I love to be alone, actually. So that's not one of my like a fear for me. But so let's say that came up, right? I would ask myself the question, is that a valid thought?
It's funny that you bring up that one, Allison, because while I'm sharing, I'm 45 and I got married 8 months ago. So I thought I was going to be alone for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Right. And I was in a very bad place for many reasons. And I've been working on myself for the past year. This is one of my fears, that I finally found him and that then I'm going to lose him.
Mm-hmm.
This is one of my, like, he goes off to work and I have these catastrophic thoughts that I'm working on in therapy, believe me. But this triggered me.
Yeah, of course it did. Of course it did. Of course it did. But you know what? And maybe sometime I'll talk to you about it alone. But the truth is that your situation is nothing like my situation, right? So it's like the truth for you is that, and this is the thing. So the what if he leaves? Let's do that. Let's do the what if, because this is just what we're talking about. So what if he goes off to work, and what if what? I always take people to the edge of the cliff. Look over the side. What if?
I lose him.
Okay, so let's go there. Seriously, you don't want to go there. So people are afraid of things. They're fearing them, but they don't even want to say it because they're so scared. But that's how evil and fear work. Look over the side of the cliff. So if you lose him, and God forbid, you're not going to lose him, but if you lose him, no. You're already reacting to it. If you lose him, then what?
I go back to being miserable.
Now, you hear that thought?
Yep.
Does that have to be true?
No, but I don't think that I have the power to say that I'm making a life. I'm trying to get there.
No.
I'm making a life for my,
No.
My thoughts have too much power over me.
Listen to me. Our thoughts have power over all of us. It's one thought at a time. It's a mini thing. So what if I lose him? I'll go back to being miserable again. Is that true? Who gets to decide if that's true? Who decides that?
Me and God.
Exactly. 100%. There's no God has already decided that. So it's not even you and God, because God's already made that decision. Do you
But
understand?
like when you're a pessimist, which is what I've been my whole life, you know, and I've talked about this, you have anxiety and you worry and you think you're planning for the bad thing, right? Because then if the bad thing happens, I was planning for that. But I've always thought if I go around being positive, life is going to disappoint me.
Well, the thing is this, is that if you make a decision, like, wait a second, first of all, there's a lot going on in that
Mhm.
2 sentences. I think maybe you guys might have heard it. So basically, anything after I am identifies us and creates, and it solidifies things in our identity, and that thought is creating something. Okay? So I am a pessimist. You know what? One of the things I would start off with, never again, as long as you live, until the day you cross over to that glorious extra life, that you say that you are a pessimist. Are you kidding me? No. Because of the way you've thought up until now, you've identified yourself as that because of the lousy way you've been feeling. So now you want to label yourself as lousy? No. You get my point? So, no, I see goodness everywhere I go. Surely goodness, right? Okay, so now next, you said I'm a pessimist. Then you said, what did you say?
I worry and have anxiety as a way to prepare
Oh,
for the
yeah.
bad thing. So like, let's say it happened. You see, I was right. It happened.
Well, how does that
Fortune telling?
how does that serve you?
It doesn't. I'm trying to unlearn it. I'm trying to unlearn it.
Honey, you wouldn't do it if it wasn't serving you. So it serves you somehow. So
I guess I always thought it was a way of being prepared.
yeah. So basically, worry is praying to ourselves. So basically, if you think about it, if you're prepared, then there's some belief. And this is going to be this week's topic. There is a belief inside of us that fear protects us, that worry protects us.
Yeah.
Now, is that actually true? Does worry protect you?
No.
It doesn't. Clarity protects you. Sober-minded thinking is, and you know what? Another thing is that are we in control of our outside environment? So all these what ifs, what if this happens? What if that happens? How many things have you worried that would happen that haven't happened? What are the things that you worry about, are there more of them that have happened or haven't happened?
Haven't happened.
Mm-hmm. Everybody else, do you agree with that? The things that you've worried about, that they actually, does anybody else feel what Josie is feeling? Kathleen, you want to say anything about it?
I was going to say that the pandemic happened and I worried about that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. And but what's the worry? So the worry is what?
I'm very similar to Josie. I kind of worry about, I see everything. I see all bad possibilities occurring, and something about me worrying about them makes me think that somehow I can prevent them.
Yep. See this right here? This is the biggest thing for this week. How many people are worrying as a form of prevention? It's hypervigilance. This is an ACOA issue. Does anybody not know what that means? ACOA issue. Lisa, I'll explain it. An ACOA issue is an adult children of alcoholics. You don't have to have parents who are alcoholics to have ACOA issues. It's adult children of any kind of dysfunction in families. Kids who are ACOAs have a high tendency towards hypervigilance, worry, because if there weren't adults there that you trusted to ensure your safety, then you had to create it yourself And basically, a child creating safety for themselves is in a lot of danger. Does that make sense? So they know that they're actually not safe because they cannot trust the adults around them. So there's so much more to this, because if you believe in fear, then the world is a dangerous place. If you believe in love, that love is the greatest force on earth, and that if I swim in that stream, that's my greatest safety. Because the truth is that if 10,000 fall on the right and this many fall on the left, I am okay. Even if I die, I'm still okay. What do you think of that? Put that in your pipe and smoke it. Like, holy shit. Like, yes. Okay. Who else feels this? Or similar? How's everybody with worry? Anybody want to say something? Doreen, what do you want to say? Nothing? Anybody? Oh, Michelle. Do you not want to say anything? Come on. Oh, Rosemary, say it. You got to unmute.
So I tend to be a worrier, and I think I've been working on it over the last couple of years. And what I do is when a thought comes in, I picture a stop sign and just stop that thought right at the root and then try to pivot it. But what happens sometimes is my husband will call me a dreamer, or like I'm being unrealistic. And I just wonder what your thoughts are on that. And, he tells me sometimes I'm too pie in the sky or rose-colored glasses, that whole deal. This has served me very well. I love the stop sign. I feel like my fears and my worries have definitely diminished, but is there a part of me being unrealistic in all this?
Okay. I love that you said that, because I love, okay, that's a compliment, actually.
It's a good thing, right? Okay.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Basically, how well do people do who are being realistic? I mean, think about it. I've never been realistic. Realistic means that I kind of stay mediocre and I just do what everybody else is doing. I'm never doing that. And so basically it's really has a lot to do with what you believe, your ability to create a life, how much power you actually have in doing that. I mean, I've seen it firsthand. I believe, I know that we have the ability to create, and science completely backs it up. So it's actually extremely realistic. It may not be realistic in terms of matter and what you can touch or feel, but that's a very limited perspective. You can just let him know that you're thinking faster than the speed of light, and he's staying slower than the speed of light at this point. That's why
he'll love that.
But it doesn't matter. Does he want to be realistic? You could look it up in terms of quantum physics. It's real. It's true. So your thoughts on that. You asked something else about that. I just want to think about what you said, because I'm forgetting. There was something I wanted to say about that. What did you just say? You said you were asking me about. You were saying the stop sign thing. And when you said you were connecting the two, were you making that connection with the stop sign, stopping a thought and pivoting to something better?
Well, that's what I do. And when a fearful thought comes in, I think of the stop sign, stop it,
Mhm.
and just reverse it, pivot it, turn it to
Yeah.
something else.
Yeah, and what outcomes do you get?
It's so much better.
Yeah, so then that would be realistic. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're feeling better. So, we want to remember culturally, and so our society is very, very conditioned to see fear as realistic. And I mean, to me, like the things that even like when Josie is describing these thoughts that she's having, to actually stop in the moment of a thought, it is incredibly compelling to stay with a fearful thought and to take it all the way to the end and to have vain imaginations, just, fantasizing about trauma. To me, as far as I'm concerned, if you're going to have trauma, why spend years being traumatized over it before it happens, or if it never happens? My son's calling me. He always calls me constantly. But anyhow, so do you see what I'm saying? Like, it's almost like, Josie, like you're living through it. And it's the thing that you want to know is that our unconscious mind, our body is a record of memory. When you're having feelings and emotions in your body, it's impacting you on a cellular level. It's impacting your DNA. It's impacting the proteins that are produced. Do you understand? So what ends up happening is that you're literally experiencing trauma internally, and it's not happening. And people are calling that realistic. Holy come on, it didn't happen. Listen, it's happened to me. I'm gonna deal with it in real time. Why deal with it when it didn't happen? Does that make sense? Josie, does it?
I don't know how to not do that. Of course it makes sense.
Well, you're telling yourself you don't know how to not do it. Linda, would you like to say?
I'll try to make this really quick, but I've been trained to worry. I was raised by a worrier. And my whole life was worry. And then I met Allison, but I guess I've been through tragedy. I've been through a divorce. I've been through a man that cheated on me. I never thought I would ever recover. I've been through a child with cancer. I've been through a suicidal daughter that eating, I could go on and on. Broke my back, thought I'd never be the same. I mean, my worst fears have come upon me, but then I met Allison. And that study that you mentioned in the beginning, I would really like to know more about, but that whole thing with neuroplasticity, and I'm a personal trainer, so when someone comes in and they're weak and they have no muscles, and then you train them, that's what Allison's doing to our brain. So just have hope, because she has changed my brain, and we can change our brain. We can, it takes practice. Like, I have a lot of clients that don't want to move up on the weight, they want to stay with the 5 pounds, but you have to keep going, but just have hope, because it's possible. There's no doubt about it. That's all.
And I just want to say something, Linda, that like when Linda broke her back, Linda didn't she didn't talk about how bad it was. Linda talked about her opportunities, all the books she can read, all the podcasts she can have, how she can grow and learn. She took it and saw it as an opportunity. I'm going to tell you, the power of that changes your whole life. Nothing can touch you. My kids were all looking every day, every single day. Our conversations are, wow, this never would have happened if this didn't happen. Wow, look at this unity we have. Wow, look at what we've learned about ourselves. Wow, look at how much closer we've gotten. Holy shit, look at the love that's been extended. Oh my God, like, wow, look at that. The cohesiveness, the friendships, there's mountains of good that has already come in 1 week. So yeah, this other thing is a total tragedy and it hurts like hell. But so that, you know, you could focus on your back. Oh my God, no, right? Yes. So it's all of it's a decision about what am I going to do with my emotional state today. I'm going to tell you something every day, because the morning's the hardest for me. The morning, it's my thoughts immediately. And I ask myself, is that how you want to see this? And the answer is no. Because when I have the bad feeling, the way I'm seeing it is distorted. Yeah, you understand that? So I say, what is true about this and how do you really want to see it? So then I say, I want to see it like this. And who do you want to be today? I want to be a person who gets up and does a 45-minute workout out in my backyard, and I raise my energy and my vibration and my health, and I listen to good music. How come I want to do that? Because I could be miserable in bed, right? I can have the same circumstance in bed, or I can have the same circumstance in my backyard with good music and fresh air and a little mist and rain. I could do that too, right? What is everybody thinking, feeling, doing? The hell's going on out there, ladies? Choices, we have choices. Our emotions are a choice. Michelle, who's just hummed? Oh, Marianella.
Hi, Alice.
How are you?
So I want to tell you, I don't feel sorry for you and I don't pity you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
So grateful, you know, to kind of be able to stop for a second. And yes, we, you know, think like things can happen in life that's awful. But, you know, a lot of what you have been teaching us, it's like, I've had to really think carefully this week, like look with, you know, in the moment, like an I am statement, or, you know, co-creators with God, like when you've said that before, or, you know, when I think about what you say about looking within instead of like trying to with the outside, you know, it's something that, you know, this is our spirit, right? And we have an energy inside of us. You want to call it a vibration, whatever you want to call it. But, you know, I just, you know, when you wrote that, you're going through the fire and you know you're going to pull out gold, you know, for all of us, you know, there is no way that a human being could do that if it's not because you are really focused on your essence and about, you know, what you're trying to teach us, which is, you know, to focus on love. Like when I've looked at, you know, my husband this week or whatever, I'm just like, you know, I want to be more awake, you know, every moment, right? Because, you know, like teaching us in general with a lot of stuff, sometimes we revert to default autopilot when things get whatever, or busy, or with your kids or with work or whatever have you. And the other woman who about, you know, applying for a job and not knowing, these are all things that we're relating to as women, because we all have these moments where we think this way, or, and they're all limiting thoughts and they're all limiting circumstances that we're not living our full life in that vibrancy of what you're trying to teach us. So, you know, for me to like kind of listen and like the past 10 days, whatever, I've just been more mindful of, you know, yes, praying for you and just, but, you know, like looking at the little things that are right in front of me. Of one of the videos you put on about fighting beauty everywhere, whether you're by the dumpster or not.
Yeah.
You know, that's what you're trying to teach us. And so I just want to say, you know, you're not quitting on us, and we're not quitting on you, and we're not gonna go into the default mode of, you know, in Spanish we have an expression, you know, you can't love somebody with pity, because that's not really love.
Yeah.
No?
Mm-hmm.
So I know we all have some level of affection for you, and, you know, just thank you for what you're doing, and just know that we're also here for you wherever we are.
Allison!
Evelyn's here.
Vicky, what are you doing over there?
She's my best friend.
She's at my house.
Good. I'm glad you're in the same thing. You couldn't get on before.
Driving, and then I got here.
Good.
So we're gonna do this together, and thank you. That's all I want to say. And you're
Amen.
amazing, and thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Remember, we're a tribe. We're here to do this.
Hi.
This is no joke. I'm not kidding around when I say that this is a mission. You know, like we get, this is like, and also, you know what, we're made for, like, I don't think you're realizing that our being inside is made for greatness, right? We're beyond, you know, these situations in life are a blip on a screen, honestly. Right? So, what does anyone else have, like, questions, or, you know, how has it been? And I know that I wasn't in there. I mean, obviously, I'm like saying, I actually think my husband would think it's fine. I've been a little busy. So that's why I haven't been on there. But so what I'm wondering is, how is everybody doing? And I'm gonna I put a PDF in there, but I'm gonna put another one and a video. I'm gonna do it, actually, normally it would have been in there, but it's gonna be in there probably tomorrow, but there's already questions. I don't know if you saw it. I have the challenge in there for this week, you know, with what I want you to do. Do you want me to tell you what it is? Okay. So basically the challenge is, I should pull it up, but the challenge is basically to, there's various questions in there, but then the main thing is, it's Monday through Saturday. You're going to identify worries, concerns, problems, situations, anything that is fear-based. So I want you to stay awake and aware to the concept of fear as a primary emotion. So one of the things that I will do is, if something doesn't feel right to me, if something feels off, I see it as being disorganized, like disorganized, not like it's misaligned with fear, because we're not meant to be in fear. So it's kind of misaligned with me. So then I say, well, God, could you realign this with love? Makes sense? So could you organize this or reconstruct this with love? Basically what we're doing is we become very, very, the architecture, the building of our brains and our lives is very disorganized and misaligned. That's the majority of the world. So when you see people who are smiling, who are filled with love and are stable and relaxed and just flowing, it's not natural. So what we want to be, we want that to be natural for us. We want that to organically happen for us. And that's what we're doing with our brains. Make sense? It's nothing, this is not magical. This is day in, day out, 1 minute at a time, one thought at a time, understanding basics. Emotion is powerful. You want to be in charge of it instead of it in charge of you. Thoughts are so powerful that if you allow thoughts that are destroying you to continue to take charge of your freaking life, the only thing you have to do is it's like you have to you have to become in charge, no matter how weird it sounds. What Rosemary is doing with the stop sign, she's basically saying, no, I'm not doing it. I literally during the day, and this doesn't have to do with repression, because I don't believe in repression. I'm a therapist, for God's sakes. I believe in processing. This entire week, all I said to my kids, to me, to everyone, the only way out is through. The only way out is through. The only way out is through. We just got to walk, keep walking, keep feeling, keep doing it. Let it out. It's like going to the bathroom. You hold it in, you're going to get jammed up. Just let's go. And we're going to eventually, the sun's going to be a little brighter. That feels good. Let's maximize that feeling. Okay, that's a good feeling. Let's create something good. What's good about this? Not what's bad about this. Yeah, these are bad things, but how can we make this good? Here's a problem. Okay, always a solution. What are we going to do next? No pool guy. He's not here. Let's get a pool guy. Got him. Done. Next. Understand? Take over your life. Take charge, right? So what are you going to do with your thoughts this week? Do not let them hurt you. Do you understand? Because I'm gonna be very real with you. You let your thoughts hurt you. It's not. That's not coming from a good. That's not a good place. It's not you. It's literally torment. That's not fair. You think my situation's not fair? Your situation's not fair. Actually, I think my situation is much fairer than yours. I do. I really do think that. You know why? Why, Josie?
Because your thoughts aren't controlling you.
Absolutely. But listen, right. Yes. So this idea of fair, not fair, right? Do you understand what I mean by that?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I'm gonna think about this whole conversation a lot, and it's helping me. And for the tragedy that I have had beauty through tragedy. My dad got 5 cancers and lived for 5 years with the cancers, and I had 5 more years with him.
Yeah.
That were meaningful. And my parents were divorced and not speaking before my dad had the cancer. And then people in the family who weren't speaking mended fences because of my dad's death. And I always remember that.
Okay, so let me ask you a question. How would it have been if your dad lived 10 years and none of that shit happened?
The shorter time with more meaning was
without question.
Better.
Without question. The other thing is, what do you think I'm going to walk away with tonight that I got from you?
Love.
Well, yeah. I got another reason why this tragedy is here for a reason. Because it's going to bless you.
Yeah. Thank you.
You understand that? You want to collect those things, build them up anywhere you can find them. Always see beauty. Always. And be beauty. When you see beauty, just be it. Be beauty and see beauty. That's it. You all right?
No.
No, you are. You see your quick answer? No. Is that true? Is it true that you're not all right?
Well, I'm a crier. And
so when you're crying, does that mean you're not all right?
I just hate it because I can't control it. Like I want it to stop right now and I can't.
Cares.
I do.
Okay. But you see the thought, emotion. Wait, what did you just say? No, I'm not all right. Actually, you're crying. What makes that not all right? So are you all right?
Yes, I'm all right.
I'm all right and I'm crying at the same time.
And I'm laughing and
I'm crying and I'm all right. And I'm laughing. Better than laughing and not being all right.
Yeah, We agree.
Yeah. All right, so anybody have anything they want to say or questions about anything? Have at it. No? I have to just check something.
I'll say something.
Oh, who said that? Oh, Karen.
Hi, how
Hello.
are you?
I'm listening.
I kind of wanted to know if like, because I love this so much and I'm really doing great, I think, at learning new ways with my thoughts. But it's grieving was something I had answered about when you said, what should we talk about? It's okay not to be okay though, right? Like, meaning,
Yeah.
like, it's okay, like when my mom died 3 years ago unexpectedly, it traumatized me. And like, I'm still so sad about it and scared
Yeah.
about what could happen out of nowhere, like,
Yeah.
without any warning. And I believe in God and, you know, heaven and all that. But I still have a lot of fear that I've been traumatized by, and just really grateful to be here to figure out how to change these thoughts and not live in fear of the unknowns, because I do have a lot of faith and trust, but it was shattered. And I just feel like I was never going to be the same, but I don't want to be the same. So I just want to be not afraid.
Yeah.
So I kind of don't know how to like grieve losses and not have fear and worry. So that's what I'm doing here. Like, because it's kind of like, it's okay to feel sad, but like, what am I going to do with it? So I kind of love what you said, like you get up, you go outside, you go work out, and, you know, you pivot it. Like, it's okay to feel it, but what are you going to do with your day still? Like, because I think I laid in bed and got sick for like 2 years. You know, so I don't want to do that anymore. So it's okay not to be okay, but it's what I'm going to do with it that matters, I guess.
Yeah. I could answer that a few things about that. Basically, it depends on what the word okay means. Of course, I mean, to me, it's 100% okay to not be feeling well. It's 100% okay to be devastated over losing somebody you love. I mean, it's a testament to the value of them as a human being and the connection that you have and the transformation between how your relationship is now changing from being physical to being, you know, they're physically not here anymore. So to me, that has to be, because that's the fire, that's the discomfort, that's, you know, so much greatness is on the other side of discomfort, so if you think about it, the thing that people are feeling in grief is it's a transition. It's a huge change. Everything stops. You know, what you're used to is over or is changed, right? So it's being able to feel what comes with that and process, hearing the thoughts that are distorted. Oh my, you know, when you said you were in bed for 2 years, like, I listened for what people would say to me. You know, I listened to the, you know, someone said their mother, oh no, they said that, yeah, they said their mother lost their father. And when their mom lost their father, then the kids also lost their mother, because anything that was good in the mother's life was attached to her person. So now she limited her whole life because she couldn't deal with anything that was a remembrance or a reminder of that person. The problem with that, that's not walking through it. The only way out is through. If you watched American Idol together, you got to take back American Idol as a soul watcher. It's just an example, right? If you know, and you feel whatever comes with that, but you do it. You see, like, because life now is different. So it's like, it doesn't mean you don't feel. The way people get stuck is that they keep things attached to the person and then avoid things. Make sense? Because they don't want to feel it. And so the only way out is through, right? So yes, of course, going through it is necessary. Make sense?
Yeah, but it was that step further of like that sudden thing that could happen. Like, I think you said something before, like more it doesn't happen than it happens. But then I felt truth in my spirit when you said that, was looking at all the ladies in this Zoom room. I felt like, well, I bet you we can all name something that's happened to us that's been pretty traumatic, that has rattled our world. And I'll use the example of my mom again, like that sudden death got me scared shit that something could happen to me at any minute. And I'm like, every minute's my last freaking minute. And I live in this hyper vigilant, like any minute, like anything could happen life. And it really did that DNA, I believe, if I understood, it made me sick, you know, like,
For sure.
like, so the fear, and I consider myself to be pretty wise, and, you know, pretty smart and intelligent, but yet there's a fear that shook me to the core that I don't know. Well, I am getting better because I'm listening to you and I'm really paying attention. I believe that this is truth, that this works. And the lady that spoke before, I forgot her name, but she attested to that it works. And I believe that that is true. So I trust that this is going to help me to live more freely again, because I feel like I've lived in a state of panic and fear that anything could happen to me, that I literally make things happen to me, like make myself sick from the thought.
Without any doubt. That's what we want to be more afraid of. Honestly, if you're going to be afraid of anything, not afraid, have reverence for your thoughts. Understand their power. So now with you, when you're describing that, you have, there's a meaning that was attached that you transferred what happened to your mother onto you, right? Is that accurate thinking? That's my point. We grieve, we have experiences, but the thought, we want to look at the thought and ask ourselves, is that a valuable thought? Does that thought bring more of the same? Because basically our thoughts are on a loop. So if there's a belief system that now you have a tragic loss, now that means that tragic loss can be prevalent, it can be in your life, it can be connected to you, it's any minute, right? This is what's been added to you in your life, and those thoughts are not valid. They're creative though, right? So that's where we take charge. Wait a minute, do I want to bring the thought of what has just happened in my life and my perspective on it? Do I want to bring that into tomorrow or today? Is that something that would be of value to me? Right? Do you understand what I mean? That's where, so it's like to believe that you actually have the power, one moment at a time, to think differently, to create something different. Just because there's traumatic loss doesn't mean it's going to happen to you, right? Okay. I think they're trying to shut down this place. I think they'll close it down around me. So, guys, thoughts, feelings? Karen, you're all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Anything else? I think we're saying goodbye now.
Thank you.
Love you.
Love you.
Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye,
Good
Allison.
night.
Good night.
Good night, Allison.
Good night, Allison.
Bye.
Bye.
Let me see, where's